Zephirah's Adventure Podcast, Episode 9 for July 11th, 2018. In this episode, Ender's Game, Zombies in the Safari, Community Spotlight with Ali, and Warcraft History. Podcast and Community Spotlight announcements. We are sort of light this week on announcements, so if you are ever interested in participating in the podcast in any capacity, please feel free to reach out. I don't bite, I promise. Links for my Twitter and the blog's Discord are available in the show notes. And as I remind you every week, or at least for the listeners that may be in Discord with me at any time, recording a segment or otherwise, please enjoy the music that you're hearing by turning down the bot's volume. All you have to do is right-click on the username rhythm, turn down that bot to about 10% or whatever volume is comfortable for you. The book originated as a short story of the same name that was published in the August 1977 issue of Analytic Science Fiction and Fact. So since we missed last week's show due to the holiday, I just wanted to throw the book of the month in here for this week's feature of the week. It's actually going to be a blog called Zim, or Zombies in My Blog. On their About page, they describe themselves as covering all things horror and geek culture. Once in a while, they'll review zombie books, movies, TV shows, and video games. And from time to time, they'll post articles covering horror and pop culture in general. This post that I'm featuring them on will be available on Friday, but definitely take a look at their blog at zombiesinmyblog.com. Definitely worth a look. Stated in the last segment, because we missed last week's podcast due to the holiday, that's why we're putting together the 9 and 10 parts of this. So as far as part 9, Safari, while preparing for an episode of the podcast a while ago, I asked a few people to pick a song for pre-show music, and of course this does not make it into the podcast itself due to copyright reasons. However, I do it for the listeners in Discord to listen to it during pre-show. It's usually whatever music I decide to banter about on the blog post for the week. And, music, no matter the form, speaks to me. And the music choice that I usually make speaks volumes for my emotions. This particular song was picked by Eric, my D&D Dungeon Master, but she was on the show with me on the last one. And, by the way, I digress. Secrets of Talengard is now on iTunes. You should go and listen to it. It's great. And I am immensely exhilarated that he made the recommendation to me. When I first clicked the play button on the YouTube video, it grabbed my attention right away. I stopped everything that I was doing and closed my eyes and took a deep breath and just listened to the song. So now I have discovered a song that will be in my rotation, and I'm going to be searching the reggaeton genre. Thank you, Everett. I really appreciate it. Now, Your Wow Soundtrack Part 10, Rob Zombie. If you just so happen to live under a rock, don't have access to the internet, or a basic calendar, not only would you not be reading my blog post about Rob Zombie, but you wouldn't be listening to the show, but you also would not know that this Friday is the 13th. So I decided to give this week's blog posts a theme, and if you haven't figured it out by now, this week's theme is zombie or zombies. And yes, this was also inspired by my D&D group. And yes, I'm serious, you can listen to our campaign on iTunes. You really should go listen to it, you guys. I digress. But Hellbilly Deluxe is the first solo album made by Rob, and it was released on August 25th, 1998. The album serves as his first release outside of the band White Zombie, who released 2 multi-platinum studio albums. Now, the song specifically that I'm looking for off of this album is called Living Dead Girl. It's the second single, and I've absolutely loved it ever since I heard it. The music video for the single derives imagery from Robert Wine's 1920s silent film, The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. I think I said his name right, sorry if I didn't, which Rob is playing the role of the doctor. You know, I've always enjoyed Rob's music ever since I was young, and, thank you for all of your hard work, Mr. Zombie. Really? Hi, everybody, to the Community Spotlight. Humans are weird, brains are fried, and I'm here with Ali. Hi.
Hello.
So, this is pretty cool because she's new to everything and podcasting like I am. So, she's been doing or has done 5 episodes of Dungeon Fables. What's your favorite thing about hosting a show?
Every week it's a new adventure to see how the episode kind of takes shape. It's scary to put yourself out there, but it's also thrilling and exciting. It's like you're showing people your baby, and then people like your baby, and then a little community forms around your baby. And that's a really weird analogy, but it's really true.
Yeah, it is. Like, I've seen this place grow, and I'm like, I have people in my Discord. They're talking about things. This is cool.
It's exciting, and the Blizzard community on the whole is an amazing community to be a part of. And when you start getting into the more creative side of things, like, that's its own little sub community, and you just meet the best people and have the best conversations and remind you why Blizzard's so great and why you actually like some people. And not all people are weird, just some people.
I embrace the weirdness. I like it. I don't know.
Well, bad weird. Obviously, embrace the good weird. We're all weird. Normal is just setting on a washer. I'm talking bad weird.
Well, I'm not bad weird. I'm not creepy. So
no, well, maybe a little, just a little creepy.
Well, maybe a little bit creepy because "Meet the Creeper" is a Rob Zombie song that I didn't use in the blog, so maybe just a little bit.
It's a good one, so a little bit of creepy, but like a healthy, good kind.
So since we're talking about music and stuff like that, what are some of your favorite WoW community content that you like following, like podcasts or blogs or videos? It could be anything, really.
It's a very long list. I saw your question and I started listing off a whole bunch of things in my mind, and I realized the list is far too long because there's so many great content creators. But with my favorites, like obviously I try to keep up with yours. But specifically for like WoW or Blizzard, World of Warcast was my first podcast I ever listened to back, 10 something years ago. So I keep up with that. Lagging Balls, Frazzlecast. There's this newer one called Half Hill Report, which is absolutely amazing. I just started listening to Merely a Setback, which I'm already in love with. And there's like, CTR instance, ones like that. Lots of podcasts, mostly podcasts. There's a couple artists I follow, Philomena, Fabelina. They're both amazing. A couple blogs here and there, but I've been so busy trying to learn how to edit and make my own podcast that I kind of lost some time to listening to podcasts that I used to have while I gamed, because you game a little less when you start podcasting.
Yeah, and I think that in the time period that we are in the current expansion, you're like, do I want to log in today? Probably not. I have work to do.
Yeah, like there's, you podcasts and plus other games. I have a whole Steam library that is full that needs my attention and love. But I've still been busy in game because this expansion's been great with content releasing and keeping us, interested for the most part.
Yeah, keeping you engaged. I can say that I've been dabbling a lot in the world, just being like, okay, let me go do that quest because I need the pet.
Yep, and then the new leveling changes, like everyone's been doing alts, not to mention the Mage Tower, everyone's on that rush.
Yeah, Mage Tower for Priest are not fun.
Yeah, I did the Holy Priest and Shadow Priest ones. That's it hurts. It feels really good when you get it done, but man, that hurt. It's hard.
Can you tell us how you found WoW and what has kept you playing for this long?
Back in Burning Crusade, I had some friends who bought it for me. And I played with them, for a while, but they were all, level capped and off doing their own thing. And it was my first MMO, and I was just kind of thrown to the wolves to do my own thing. And I kind of didn't have fun playing with them because they didn't really care that I was there. But I eventually made some friends in another guild and actually been with them ever since. And that's what has kept me going. It's the people. It's the people you meet in those relationships. And we've been together since 2009, I think, in the same guild. And that just, no matter what, that keeps you going. On top of that, there's the lore. Obviously, I love the lore. But without those relationships, I don't know if I'd still be playing. Maybe. I probably would still be playing. But the relationships kind of keep you going, no matter what state the game's in.
So do you still play on that faction and character? And if not, what made you change?
I still play the same faction because all my friends end up being alliance. I mean, I have a couple Horde alts. I'm not so much, Horde versus Alliance, rah, rah, rah. But all my friends are Alliance for the most part, so I'm mostly Alliance. My first character was a dwarf rogue named Ali, which is where I got the name Ali. But it was discovered that I'm a decent tank and a decent healer. So that means these days I mostly play my tank and my healer.
What has been your most memorable moment in the game Warcraft and why?
I have a lot of memories, but in more recent time, I have my guild, our raid's more of a casual try-hard raid. We only raid 3 hours a week, and we're not super hardcore. We're not jerks about, people messing up to mechanics and that kind of thing. And we just do what we can. We don't usually progress really far, but we do what we can. And this year, this expansion for this last raid for Antorus, we were able to get AOTC, which is unheard of for my guild to do it together in our little group. And we did it. We succeeded together. And that's when you do it together with your raid that you've put all that time into, is one of the best feelings. And I think that one's going to stick around with me as probably one of the more memorable ones.
Actually, to give them a shout out, what's your raid team's name? Or what's your guild's name?
Our guild is Kindred Embrace on Alune. I love them. I don't think many of them listen to podcasts, even though I've tried to get them to. But if any of them are, hi. Love you guys. But they're a good group of people who realize that, the game is great, but real life is a little more important. So we all understand that about each other. And it just makes for a really healthy community.
Yeah, that reminds me of the team I'm on, Rubber Chickens, or the Rubber Chicken Coalition. They're actually off having their fun for the night while we're here sitting and talking, and but I love them, and they're so great. I mean, Kara and Barf, specifically those two because they're officers with me in the guild.
Yeah.
After we're rated, I'm like, if I know things like come down to it, and I really just be like, hey, yo, I'm an idiot. Can you help me, please? So it's like, I mean, I've learned a lot because of the team too, just generally about, WoW. And I've had a lot of bantering moments about lore. I mean, just funny stuff that you would just be like, what in the world? Where is that coming from? And it's fun. And like, I know about a month ago, we were doing PvP together, like as a raid team. I'm like, okay, when did this start happening?
Yeah, I've talked to Kara here and then heard her talk, and I've watched Bartholomew's streams and stuff, and it's you guys have a great group. Like, it's a blessing and a curse to have my guild because I adore them and I would do anything for them, but it makes it hard because I want to join groups like yours. Like, you guys are exactly like what I want in a group and a raid group, and I wish I had more time to put a tune into CTR and be active there because it's such a great guild and it's such a great group of people. And, it's one of those things where I can't because I have this other awesome guild and it's like a blessing to have and I can't leave them, but I only have so many hours in a day.
Well, I'll at least extend this out for you because, again, greeting officer speaking here. If you guys have alts or whatever it is, and even if you're not playing constantly on the tunes on over here, if you want to make a tune and just toss them in the guild, I would be more than happy to get you in. It's not a very hard process at all. And plus, we always have people, officers, I mean, watching the channel, the LFO channel. So, including Barf. So, our illustrious Barf. He's so awesome.
He really is. And it's on my list of things to do at this end of the expansion. But I've been so busy trying to push for my mage towers when I'm on and, doing some guild stuff. So now that we're almost done with mage towers within a week or two, I'm going to be taking care of some stuff like that.
Yeah, I stopped trying after like the 50th failed attempt. I'm like, yeah, I'm done.
I will say it's the extra boost to our weapons Blizzard has done that also continues to boost up has been my saving grace. I think that's how I got so many of mine done. If I'm lucky, I'm going to get my rogues done. We'll see. I had to like rush power item level her up. But because they've done this awesome boost, a lot of people have been getting it done. You may want to try again. It's up to like 136, I think now.
Yeah, it's rather large.
It is, and the numbers keep going up, and it just blows my brain every time I look at it.
Explosion in the brain.
It happens often.
Yes, it does. That's why we have scrambled eggs and bacon for, the evening of recording the interview. But,
that works for dinner. Don't mock.
It does. So do waffles. Waffles are great at any time of the day.
I want waffles.
So, what has been your most memorable moment in real life due to Warcraft? Other than waffles, of course.
I think it was when I actually went up to Canada to go meet my guildies. We had been together for a few years and I had some extra money and these people had become like a second family to me. And we got each other through some hard times individually and as a group. And I really wanted to meet them. So I actually went up to Ontario and met them. And I met their significant others and their kids and their parents even, and had such a great time. They deemed me an honorary Canadian. So I have that going for me. And, if for some reason I ever need to leave and get a new home in another country, like that's where I'm going. That's where I will have family already there because they're such great people. And meeting guildies in real life is like podcasting, scary and exciting and thrilling, and you'll never forget it. And it was really great.
Yeah, there's a few Canadians I know of. I know the guys from All Things Azeroth. All of them are from Canada. So Toasty, Fandeth, and Medros. And then a few guildies from AIE. Specifically Taki or Takemikazuchi. He's awesome. Like if you could just hear him giggle, it's the funnest thing. It's like yeah. He posted some pictures in the Discord today, which is absolutely beautiful.
Yes,
I'm
I
like,
saw those.
oh,
They are.
I'm like, I want to go there. So since we're talking about or mentioned raiding, what has been your favorite instance and which one of those of all of the raid bosses that we have is your favorite boss fight?
Well, obviously, I really like dungeons and raids enough to make a podcast about it. I have a hard time picking one instance until I got into the BFA beta and found my favorite instance ever. And I went to run it a million times. It's called Freehold, and there's pirates, and it's funny as hell, and it's the best instance ever. And I think one of my favorite boss fights is in that too, which is so funny because there's so many amazing, amazing, amazing dungeons. But there's a new one coming out that it made because it's new content and I'm just super excited about it. But I think it already might be just my favorite of all time. And there's a boss fight in it, and I won't I'm trying not to ruin anything or whatever, but it's a fight where you have, multiple bosses for this one boss fight. And for one of them, you chase a muddy pig. You run around the ring and you chase a muddy pig. And I just died laughing the whole time when I first did it. And then another part of the fight, you're fighting an ogre with swordfish on his hands, and he throws them at you. And these actually one's a shark and I think one's a swordfish. And they just chase you around. And it was hilarious and funny, and I love pirates. So it might be my favorite instance already. And I haven't even done it in live yet, just in beta.
That's actually quite awesome. I remember when they mentioned our train boss a while ago, if you remember the train.
Yes, that's a good one.
That one I loved just because it was moving parts. So, yay. Pre-high mall, guys. This is years ago.
I also really like, and this is a very unpopular opinion, I really like Throne of the Tides. It's the underwater one from Cataclysm.
Yeah.
And I love the underwater theme. I've always said that if I could, I would clear all the baddies out there, make it all friendly and happy, and I could just live there. The water walls and all the different, graphics and everything, I could just live there the rest of my life and be perfectly happy. It's a gorgeous instance and I love it.
Yeah, I would rather live there than in the garrisons that we had. Those were atrocious.
Yeah, but at least you had your little pets following you around. And I always loved that because they would just randomly spawn and just hang out and wander around.
Yeah, give me my pets, give me my bank and throw it in that instance and I'm happy.
See, that's what they could do. They can make separate instances. Everyone can have their own player housing, and they can pick what dungeon they want to be in.
That would be sort of cool.
Yeah, they should do that. That would be awesome.
There you go, Blizz. If anybody's listening,
we will give you ideas. This is good. It hopefully wouldn't be too difficult. I'm not a programmer, so I couldn't tell you, but that would be amazing.
Right? Yo, by the way, lore. You don't need to give me your, beta keys. I don't need them. I don't believe that you don't have any. But whatever, I digress. So with the new expansion on its way, I would assume that you're looking forward to most as the instances and stuff like that, because, your show is all instances stuff.
They're so good. I think I mentioned it earlier, I've never been one for the whole Horde versus Alliance fight. And I'm not, all one-sided and against the other side or whatever. But I actually, after playing the beta, am more excited for this expansion than I thought I would ever be. And part of it is the dungeons. I've done them on at least the first, 3 or so on Horde side and Alliance side. And they're all amazing. And they're beautiful. Really, the artwork in general in BFA is just gorgeous. The number of screenshots I have from just entering a new zone and just having to stand there for a minute and take it all in. Like they've really upped their game. I mean, their art's always been good, but I see why they upped their computer requirements, because BFA is just amazing and gorgeous and jaw-dropping, and I can't wait for more people to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I think since Pandaria or even pre-Pandaria, like it's just been improving each time coming up. So this is going to be your hard question.
Oh man, okay.
So with the return of the factional divide in Battle for Azeroth, Horde, Alliance, or neither?
Alliance, because that's where my guild is, and that's where most of the people I play with are. I have a couple of Horde alts. Like I have one over in Blood of the Scribe with Lagging Balls. I'll probably play on her too, so I can see both sides of the story. But it'll be mostly Alliance.
Awesome.
Thankfully, our leader's grown up a little bit, and he's Manduin now, so that helps.
Yeah, I still think that he's like the little boy still.
Did you read the book though?
Yeah, but it's like always in the back of my mind, he'll be the boy.
I get that. I mean, I still remember quests where we used to, have to guide him around Stormwind and train him and stuff. And he was one of those creepy ass little, human children boys.
We did that in Pandaria too.
Yeah, like I still remember all those quests. So yeah, I mean, there's still boy whiny Anduin that you want to punch. But after reading the book, I think he actually is going to be a decent leader. And I'm kind of excited to see where his story takes him.
I know a lot of people are going to be very upset with me when I say this, because Manduin, image in your head. But, the boy king needs to kick the mutt to the curb and sort of grow a pair of cojones. I'm just saying, like, I understand that he's trying to guide Anduin, but at the same time, you have to let him grow.
That's true, but I mean, and I don't know, like, if we're doing spoilers or not, but like, speaking around the spoilers, Anduin made a couple of choices in the book that were against what Greymane agreed with, and he did it anyways, which was really good.
Yeah, but Greymane likes to snap at snap at the snout.
Well,
so
he's a warrior. Can you blame him? Come on.
I mean, he doesn't have a proper tail, so he's kind of cranky.
Well, if you got the Worgen curse and had to deal with that, you'd probably be a little cranky too. Come on.
Yeah, probably.
And yes.
So the easiest question of all the community spotlight is, where can people find you on the internet?
Well, you can find me, my Twitter, like my personal Twitter, is at AleandrasK. The show Twitter, Dungeon Fables, is at Dungeon Fable, because Fables was taken by a rarely used account, and it's just sitting there mocking me. And you can find the show on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, best places. And I always link it on Twitter and everything too.
Awesome. Well, I would like to give a shout out to Ali real quick. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Shoutouts for the week. Everett for suggesting the music for me, to Rob Zombie for being such a badass and rocking out for as long as you have, and essentially as long as I've been alive, to Ali and her super awesome introduction to podcasting. Keep up the good work, girl. It's going great for you. And to Blizzard for making an awesome game that I absolutely love. Music used in this episode: Alchemist Tower, Alien Restaurant, and Division by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com. Licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0. And until next time, I hope your adventure is awesome.